Okay, let's start. Let me share my screen. Okay, good. Let's start. So, are you able to see my screen? Both. Purnima, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start. Today we are going to discuss very important topic. So today's topic is constructors in C#. Constructors. Okay. Constructors in C#. Okay. So what is constructor? First, we are going to be understand what is constructor. Okay. What is definition? What is constructor? And we have a different types of constructors are available in C#. So you will get compulsory one interview question. What is why constructor? What are the types are there? Okay. So as a developer, you should know what is constructor, when we are going to be used, what is the advantage about those constructors, all these things. Okay. Now let's start. First, try to understand the definition of the constructor. Okay. So first of all, what is constructor? Constructor is nothing but a class. Constructor is a special method. Constructor is a special method. A class name and constructor name both same. Okay, this is your constructor. Okay, for example, let's suppose suppose you have a class test. This is your class. Okay, then what is your constructor? Public test. Okay, this is your constructor. Is it clear, Purnima? So this is your constructor. Okay, here the access modifier, and this is your constructor name. I told you, right? What is constructor? Constructor is a special kind of method where class name and constructor name both are same. Okay, then you will get a question, sir, what is, why we, what is the advantage, why we need, first of all, the question is, first of all, why we need to have a constructor here? Okay, just mute yourself. Okay, so what is the, why we need to be having constructor? That is the first question. What is the advantage about the constructor? Okay, so the point here is, so basically your constructor, it is, useful for the to control the class. Remember this point, compulsory you will get the question. To control the class, you have a constructors. Okay, so let's see how your constructor is going to be help you out to control the class. Okay, so if interview going to ask you the question, what is the use of constructor, means you need to give only one answer: to control the class. That's it. Okay, let's start. Let me open Visual Studio or access modifiers. Close this, close this. I want to create C# programs. So I want your full concentration here. Okay, good. So I'm going to be creating one separate class to understand the constructor. Class constructor types. .cs. Okay. So now, suppose I have the class, let's suppose I have the class we call .NET Master. Example, .NET Master is my class. Okay. So now what is the advantage? Okay, let's see, let's try to understand it. Suppose I have here, going to be write a static here. Okay, wait a second. I'm going to write one more class. So where I can create the objects. Okay, class, suppose I have main class example. Okay, this is my main class where I'm going to create the objects. Okay, so here I need to be have a static void main. Okay, now, so the understand the, see, if I don't have a constructor, I'm able to, suppose I have a one method example public void method 1. Console dot write line. This is a method 1. Simple one method is there. Okay. Now let's try to understand it. See, I don't right now. I don't have any constructor, right? This is the class. This is the method. Don't confuse between the constructor and method. Can you tell me what is the difference between the method and the constructor? Purnima, what is the difference between the constructor and method? Fast. Purnima, are you there? Hello. Shiv Shankar, can you tell me what is the difference between the constructor and a method? Fast. Purnima, you are not there. Okay. Yeah, Purnima, are you there? So tell me, this is the method. Okay, this is the method and this is the constructor. Tell me what is the difference between the constructor and a method? Is that both are same, and what is the difference? Or what is the difference? You understood my question? You understood my question? Purnima. So give me the answer. My simple question is, yes, we have seen that what is constructor. I told you constructor is a special kind of method where class name and constructor name both are same. Okay. Now what is method? Method we can have anything. It's a block of code. So that's what. So my question is, what is the difference between the constructor and method? So both are not same. Both are not same. Yes, you understood, Purnima? Okay, so now let's try to understand the difference. Please try to understand. Okay, so here constructor does not has any return type. This is we called return type. See here in the method you have a return type. You got the point? So whereas the constructor you don't have any return type here. Constructor is a special kind of method. Okay, it does not has any return. It's a special method where the class name and constructor name both are same. The second point is method is a different thing. See, method you can give any name, and method you can return the value, you cannot return the value. That's all up to you. Okay. Method, what is method? Method is a special, method is a block of code. Method is a block of code where you can return a value or you cannot return a value. If you have given the void, means you are not returning the value. Don't confuse. Let's suppose if your return is int, then what you need to do, I already told you what is method and all. Shiv Shankar, tell me, if instead of void I have a method called int method 1, then what is the difference between these two? Yes, tell me, what is the difference between these two? We wait a second. This is void. Okay, this is the void and this is the int here. So what is the difference between these two? Method 1, method 2. Fast, very quickly. Most important. Is that both are same? Then what is the difference? Fast, make it fast. Yeah. Then what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that void? What do you mean by that int? Purnima. Yeah, then see, understand the point. See, this is the method 1. Okay, this is the method 2. If the method, it has, write down if you have a confusion. Okay, if a method which return type is void means, simple answer is it is not expecting any return type. If method is void means you are not going to return anything from this method. Suppose if you have given the integer, okay. Suppose you have given as a int to the your any method, okay. So that means what? You must be return a value integer. It may be anything, any value, okay, whatever you want to be return the integer. So, but the bottom line is when you have your return type as an integer, you must be return an integer. Let's suppose here the string is there, you must be return a string. So that is what. So the difference between the void method is, void means you're not going to be return anything, whereas integer means you are going to be return only integer value. Suppose if you try to be return a string, you have given as a int and you're returning the string, then there is a problem. What is the problem? You'll get an error. Boss, you cannot see. You've given the integer type is an integer and now you're returning a string. You'll get the bug. Okay. So this is what I'm telling you. Okay. So now you cleared what is the difference between the, let's go to the constructor. See, constructor is a special method. See, it does not have any return type like you have the previously normal methods. Okay. But whereas the test, you don't have anything. Okay. You don't have any kind of things. Okay. So special constructor is a special kind of method where class name and constructor name both are same. Now let's try to understand the, I told you, right, what is the use of constructor? Control the class. What is the use of constructor is control the class. Let's see practically how this, it is going to be useful. Wait a second, where is our, just give me a minute. This is the constructor type. Okay, now let's try to understand. Suppose, see here, now understand. Right now I don't have any constructor here, only I have a method. Okay, now I'm creating the object. Okay, see here, .NET master dt equal to new .NET master. Okay, now I'm able to see here, I'm able to call the class, I'm able to call the method also. Okay, see here, dt dot method 1. Okay, so through the coding you're calling the the same method, class names, you're creating the object and you're calling that one. Okay, so now let me make the startup of the page. The startup of the page, wait a second, what is the name? Constructor type C# all program, main class, right? Main class. Okay, wait a second. Right click on the project, go to the properties. Here you need to be select void main class, new main class only, right? Is that main class new or main class only? Okay, good. Now let me run this application. Okay, so now I have set it as so now let me give the console.readline. Now run this application, save it and run this. So see here, I can able to call the methods. Okay, is that clear, right, so far? Yes, Shiv Shankar, you cleared. Simple. What is constructor? Okay, now let's try to understand the importance about the constructor. Suppose I don't want to be nobody. See, this is my class. I don't want to be anybody out. I don't want to be anyone. Is need to be create my class. You got my point? I don't want to be I don't want anybody to be create my class. Okay, then what I need to do? What I need to do? So simply I will make it this public constructor. I will create one constructor. See here, public, private, sorry, private .NET master. That's it. Okay, so now see here, previously I have created the object. Now I'm getting error. Previously I'm not getting the error. Now when I created, this constructor, private constructor, now I'm getting a error. So what do we mean by that? What do you mean by that is, yeah, we cannot create it. See, that's correct. But what we ultimately, what we are achieving here. So the bottom line, what I'm trying to say, your constructor has a power. That's what I'm trying to say. Earlier, we can able to create, but now when you modify your constructor, okay, then nobody is going to be create the object of the class. So this is what I'm saying. Interview going to ask you the question, boss, what is the advantage about the constructor? You need to be clearly tell, control the class. Control the class. What is the advantage about the constructor is to control the class. Okay, so it is going to be control the class. And let's suppose, see here, as you have seen, okay, suppose example, I want to be make it, this is a public, okay, I want some condition. If anybody is going to be passed the some ID, then only I can able to give the access to control the class. Suppose example ID, some ID example I'm telling you. Okay, suppose here directly I cannot able to create the class. You're able to see here, I'm not able to create the object. Suppose if I pass the value 100 example, see here, I can able to create the object. You got my point? Shiv Shankar, Purnima, are you there? Yes. So you understood, right, what I'm saying? No doubts or any confusing? Let me know. Simple word is, your constructor is a hero. It is going to be, constructor only will decide, whether you want to be create the object or not. So that kind of power you have to the constructor. Okay, and whenever you, yeah, suppose if you take the private, see here, what is going to be happen? Nobody is going to be create the object. See here, if you try to create the object, you will get error. See here, it is telling inaccessible due to the protection level. So this is what you have the power. So the constructor has a power. Who is going to be create the object? Who is, you don't want to be create the object or time like this. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Shiv Shankar and Pallavi. Oh, sorry, Purnima, you cleared, right? No doubts. Okay. Now this is what you need to be tell in interview. Now the next point is types of constructor. So we have seen that what is constructor, what is the advantage and all these things. Okay. Now the types of constructor, very important. Types of constructor. The first type is parameterized constructor. Second, private constructor. Third, static constructor. Parameterized constructor, private constructor, static constructor, and default constructor. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me check very quickly types of constructor online. Use Google. Types of constructor. Let me open any website. Okay. See here, the first is default constructor. What I told you last one, right? Sorry for that. Wait a second, just give me a minute. Okay, so types of constructor, see here. What happened? Okay, now it's clear. Okay, good. So see here, guys. So what are the types of the first is default constructor. Okay, this is your default constructor. Okay, already I have written the default constructor. Okay, second is a parameterized constructor. See here, the whatever our item number one is. Second is a third is a copy constructor. Okay, we'll write the copy constructor here. Okay, these are all the types. Okay, the first is default constructor, parameterized constructor, copy constructor, private constructor, static constructor. Okay, so these all the types of constructors are there. Okay, so we'll discuss tomorrow each and everything individually. So first you go through this and I will tell you one point. Okay, let's try to understand the 2-3 items. Okay, first is default constructor. What is default constructor? Very quickly. See, whenever you are not, let's suppose whenever you are, see here, whenever, let's suppose you don't have any constructor here. You don't have a public, private, protected, nothing is there. Okay. So only except you, nobody is, there. Okay. Now let's try to understand. Wait a second, what I'm saying. Okay. So now let's understand. See, currently I don't have any constructor in the .NET Master class. Is there constructor is there? Past. Shiv Shankar, constructor is there in this class? Purnima, in .NET Master class, is that the constructor is there? You understood my question? I have the class name is .NET Master. So in that class, do you have any constructor? That is wrong. When you don't have any constructor, when you run the application, compile time, it is going to be create one default constructor. You understood what I'm trying to say? See, without that, you cannot create the object. Okay. So that's the reason. So compulsory, automatically you should have a constructor. That's what I'm saying. When you don't give any constructor, your compiler going to be create one default constructor. Remember this point. When you don't create any, write down if you want that point. When you don't create any kind of constructor, your compiler is going to be create one constructor for you. Okay. Now, so I told you, right, what is default constructor? When you don't give any kind of constructor in this, automatically your compiler is going to be give the one default constructor. That's what you need to be telling in interview. Any doubts is there in the default constructor? Compiler going to be created, and one more important point, your default constructor does not has any parameters. You can call parameter list also. Example like this, public, like this. So that is the advantage. So this is your default constructor. Remember this point. Okay, any doubts? Clear? Okay, let's move to the next is parameterized constructor. Second one. What is parameterized constructor? Suppose if you want to be having some parameters. Suppose example, customer name. So what is this? The .NET you can able to access only when you respond to this. When you respond to this one, when you respond to this constructor. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You cannot so this is we call parameterized constructor, where you're giving the where you're taking the inputs. Suppose who are going to be access this .NET Master, he must be pass the some string value, integer value. That is what. So this is your constructor. So this kind of constructor where it has a parameters. So that's we called parameterized constructor. You understood? Everybody? Any doubts? No doubts, right? Now next is, let's see the which one I forgot. Okay, parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor in the sense, Wait a second. Where is Visual Studio? Okay. So just give me a minute. Where is this? Okay, leave it, no problem. Wait a second. Where we are? Constructor types. Okay, see here. So the bottom line, what I'm trying to say, your constructor going to be help to create, your constructor is going to be, you control. That's what I'm saying. When you have parameterized constructor, it is controlling your, it's controlling, it has a controlling power. That's what your .NET master. Okay, so that's what your constructor. Is it clear, Purnima? Okay, so now this is we call, when the constructor, it has a parameter, we called as a parameterized constructor. Shiv Shankar. Okay, so now next, let's go to the other type. Okay, wait a second. Where is our notes? Okay, good. So now next is private constructor. Okay, today we will discuss, three constructor. One is default constructor, parameterized constructor. The third is a private constructor. Tomorrow we are going to be complete this, copy constructor and static constructor. Okay, now private constructor. What is private constructor? I told you, we have already seen. When you have a private constructor, you cannot able to create the object. Okay, so that is what your private constructor. Is there any questions in the three constructors? Very quickly. The first is, what is the first? First one is default constructor. Second is parameterized constructor. The third copy constructor tomorrow we'll see. But today we have seen the private constructor. What is private constructor? See the basically, if you don't, other side people, you don't want to be create the object of the class. So that's the reason you have a private constructors. Okay. So that's it about today's session, guys. Tomorrow we'll complete this. What is copy constructor and static constructor? Then we are going to be done almost, OOPS concepts. So far we done C#. So far we done OOPS concept. Sorry, ADO.NET some little bit, and OOPS concepts we done. Okay. And after that, after the OOPS concepts, I'm going to be start the Windows applications. How to create the Windows application with the database. Okay, with the database, I'm going to start. Databases are very important, guys. And again, I'm repeating my words. So let me cross check. Shiva, you have a database or not in your machine? Is it? Immediately install it. I already told you. Sir, go to the, see here. I will tell you. Don't see here. Just go to the Google, type SQL Server. That's it. SQL Server download. You click on here, you will get the here Microsoft.SQL Server tutorial. You click on yeah. What is there, sir? Simple. Go and download. This is the free only. Or else, yes, suppose here, if you have a problem, go to YouTube. Type the, how install the SQL. They will guide you. Simple. What about Purnima? Yeah, okay, download immediately. Okay. Okay, because see, I'm going to be start we almost done the OOPS concepts, almost near to be complete the OOPS concepts. Okay, if you good all these things topics, and tomorrow I'm going to be ask you all the OOPS concepts. Okay, tomorrow I will completely, I will going to be just brush up all these things. Tomorrow I'm going to be access. And now your homework is you create all these things. I'm going to be share you the link. Is all the constructor you try to be execute. Tomorrow I will explain what is copy constructor, static constructor. But meanwhile, I want you to be practically create the notes, and you should be able to complete with Visual Studio. You understood what I'm saying? Both Purnima, you need to be complete these assignments and the practical code. Okay. I think she applied the multiple. I need to be checked with him. Yeah, no, he is not from the .NET Master actually. He is other student. He is my other. See, I have some different students also apart from the .NET Master. Okay, so actually some I'm going to be sometimes I'm going to be only help for the placements. Sometimes I'm only I will give the trainings. So like this partial kind of trainings. So that I will not include in the .NET Masters. Okay. So see, that's what I'm saying, guys. If you work hard, previously one I shared your link, right? That I forgot the name. Some girl name is there. Recently, 10 batch, she got selected for the Cognizant. Have you seen in the WhatsApp? I shared you. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, guys. If you work hard, see why I am particular about all these things is when you go to the interviews, you should be give all the answers. So right now we are going very great. I want you to be do same kind of exercises. Okay. And previous topics also you need to be must be completed. Shiva, you have a problem. I already told you what you need to do it. You practice in the mirror every day. Often, you start working on the mirror side so that you will get some confidence. Okay. So do that one exercise. Purnima, you are doing great. Okay. Whatever is there you are doing, that's great only. And Purnima, you need to be complete your previous topics. Whatever we have done all the previous topic, you should be very perfect on these things. And the next plan is almost tomorrow we are going to be start the Windows application project and ADO.NET SQL Server. This 4 directly it is going to be started tomorrow only. Okay, what is Windows application project, ADO.NET and SQL Server? These 4 skills directly going to be started. Okay, so once you complete these 4 skills, especially Windows application, SQL Server, Windows application, SQL Server, ADO.NET. Okay. Once you've done these topics, then I will start the interviews for you. I will give you the resume template to you. Okay. And before you start the interview resume template, I will take the mock interviews for both. So I'm going to be tell you what are the mistakes you are doing. Okay. So how the real time should be the mock interview. What are the interview questions you will get? What you need to be explained. One day I'm going to be completely explain about the project. Complete end to end. What is the project? What is the purpose? And tomorrow, and also I'm going to be explain you the real time how the company structure. What is your role? Okay. So when you get selected, what you should be do? What are the members are there? Each and everything I will going to be discuss these points. Okay. So don't miss the any sessions, guys. Practice it whenever you get a time. See, we need to be work very hard. Try to be, and one more important, okay, will not now, no needed. The previous topics are important. I'm seeing especially, Shiv Shankar, you are forgetting the previous topics. You must be practice that all these things. Okay. So complete that, all these things. Any questions? That's it about today's session, guys. Tomorrow we'll close the constructor, but you understood, right? What you need to do, Purnima, and you need to be create the nodes. And practically you need to be complete that filings. Whatever I shared you, the 5 constructor types, you need to be complete. You go through you have the already links. You go through it, you understand. If any doubts is there, let me know. Okay. So that's it about today's session, guys. Thank you.